Once upon a time, in a peaceful village surrounded by hills and whispering forests, there lived a woman named Miranda. When she was young, Miranda was the most beautiful woman in all the surrounding lands. Her skin glowed like honey in the sun, her eyes sparkled like the stars, and her hair flowed like a river of silk. Men journeyed from faraway villages just to catch a glimpse of her beauty. Women envied her. Mothers warned their sons about her charms, and even the elders whispered about her beauty being a gift from the gods themselves. Miranda loved her beauty more than anything in the world. She believed that it gave her power, respect, and admiration. But beauty, like the setting sun, fades with time. And as Miranda grew older, she began to panic. Each wrinkle was a stab to her heart, each gray hair a cruel betrayal. When she turned 50, and the first deep lines etched themselves on her face, she fell into despair. One night, unable to sleep and full of fear, Miranda ventured deep into the forest. There, she stumbled upon an ancient tree, twisted and glowing faintly under the moonlight. Beneath the tree was a shadowy figure, a spirit older than time. The spirit offered Miranda a cruel deal. She could remain youthful, but she would have to steal the youth of young girls. Miranda hesitated for only a moment. Her fear of growing old was far greater than her sense of mercy. She agreed. And so, Miranda remained young. Year after year, she would choose a girl, always one full of promise and beauty, and steal her youth under the guise of a kind old herbalist. The girl would fall mysteriously ill and die within days, her body wasting away like a candle melting under the sun. The villagers mourned but never suspected Miranda, who always looked like a graceful woman in her early 20s. She kept moving from one village to another, never staying too long. For 30 years, Miranda stole the lives of innocent girls. She had become a phantom of beauty and death. But then something happened that Miranda could not foresee. In a quiet village nestled near the hills of the West, a woman named Elizabeth lived a life of sorrow. For 15 years, she was barren, with no child to call her own. One day, she climbed the sacred mountain and prayed at the temple of the gods, her tears soaking the earth. "Oh, mighty ones," she cried, "give me a child. Let me feel what it is to be a mother. I will love her, raise her, and serve you all my life." The gods heard her prayer and granted her a daughter, Isabella. Isabella was not just beautiful, she radiated with a divine light. Her laughter made birds sing, her touch healed wounds, and her presence brought peace. Everyone in the village loved her. She helped her mother cook, clean, tend to the sick, and even work on the farm with joy in her heart. When Isabella turned 18, Miranda, now in her 80s but still looking 20, arrived in the village. As always, she posed as a traveling healer, offering potions and charms. She saw Isabella and knew she had found her next victim. Miranda tried to resist at first. There was something different about the girl. But her fear of aging crept back in, and she could not resist. One night, Miranda performed the ritual and stole Isabella's youth. But this time, something went wrong. The sky turned black, the earth trembled, and the sacred mountain glowed with fire. Miranda screamed as the youth she stole turned to ash in her hands. She fell to the ground, her face cracking, her bones creaking as her true age surged forward like a flood. In mere minutes, Miranda was transformed into an ancient, withered hag with skin like tree bark and eyes dull as stone. The gods appeared in the sky, their voices booming like thunder. "You have stolen what was not yours for too long. You have taken the blessings we gave and turned them into curses. For this, you are cursed to live forever, but never as yourself. Your body will age, your soul will rot, but death shall never come. You will wander the earth, forgotten, broken, and begging for the mercy you never gave." Miranda cried out in pain, crawling in the dust, but the gods vanished. The villagers awoke and found her lying on the ground, a shriveled creature with hollow eyes. They banished her from the village, and no one ever spoke her name again. Isabella's body, now lifeless, was taken to the sacred mountain by her grieving mother, Elizabeth. She laid her daughter at the altar and prayed once more. "My lords, you gave her to me. Please don't take her away. I kept my promise. I raised her in love. Let her live again." The gods did not bring Isabella back to life in the way Elizabeth had hoped. Instead, Isabella returned to the heavens, becoming a divine being. Her spirit would visit her mother each morning, helping her cook, clean, farm, and live in peace. The villagers never saw Isabella again, but they always heard Elizabeth talking and laughing with someone in her home. They knew the gods had answered again. As for Miranda, she wandered from village to village for centuries, her back bent like a dying tree, her legs shaky, her voice a croak. Children feared her. Dogs barked at her. No one gave her food or shelter. She begged for death each night. Please, let me die. I'm so tired. But death never came. She slept in ditches, drank from muddy puddles, and fed on scraps like a rat. Her once beautiful hands now shook with tremors. Her face sagged beyond recognition, and her mind slowly unraveled. She would whisper to herself, I was beautiful. They all loved me. Why did I fear time? Hundreds of years passed. Kingdoms rose and fell. Villages turned to cities. But Miranda remained a relic of her own curse, watching time pass like the wind. One day, she crawled to the sacred mountain, hoping the gods would hear her again. I was wrong. Please, forgive me, she wept, barely able to speak. But the mountain remained silent. The wind blew her white hair into her face. The trees rustled, but there was no voice from the gods, only a soft breeze and the sound of leaves falling. Miranda closed her eyes and waited, but death did not come. And so the woman who feared growing old lived on, cursed to age forever, never to find peace, while the girl whose youth she stole became a goddess, visiting her mother daily, helping with joy, while Miranda remained forgotten by all, except the gods.